All right, let's talk about another altered state of consciousness, and that is sleep. Okay, something we do 1/3 of our lives. We lay down unconscious. Crazy. Just waiting for saber-toothed tigers to come and eat us, bears, lions. It's kind of stunning that we've evolved this complete loss of consciousness for 8 or 9 hours in a 24-hour cycle. All right, so it's quite a risk. So what the heck did we evolve that for? Believe it or not, the answer still is unclear. Why do we sleep? I still remember the first time I was in a class and a professor said the same thing I just said. And I sat there and I go, what are you, an idiot? I know why we sleep. We sleep because we're tired. Duh. I mean, question solved, right? But it turns out you can get as much energy conservation just sitting in a chair comfortably or laying down awake. Why do you have to be unconscious? The concept of being unconscious doesn't fit perfectly well with this energy conservation hypothesis, or that you're restoring something. Of course, the argument is that we are restoring something, but nobody is quite sure what we are restoring. I mean, I worked in a laboratory that believed we were restoring glycogen reserves in the brain, but we're never able to prove that. It's very difficult to do that. Okay, so even though this is the most widely studied altered states of consciousness, there's still a good deal of mystery about it. So sleep within a 24-hour cycle falls into 3 categories. And we have to include waking here as part of that 24-hour cycle. So we have waking, we have non-REM sleep, and we have REM sleep. Okay? Now let's look over here. This is a subject in a sleep lab being hooked up to monitor sleep recording. And this is a pretty sloppy little apparatus because you got wires going everywhere, but this is basically how it works. So you are recording different activity. You're recording the EEG, brain waves, electroencephalogram, electrical activity recording of the brain. Okay, so we're measuring the EEG so we can tell the difference between non-REM and REM sleep. That'll be clear in the next few slides. We're measuring muscle activity, electromyogram, electrical recording of muscle activity. You'll see that's very important to determining the differences between these sleep states. Electrooculogram, okay, electrical recording of the eyes to help us determine REM sleep. And then EKG or ECG. The Germans first came up with this word and they spell cardio with a K. That's why it's EKG, but ECG works equally well, and that's just a heart rhythm. And then we usually measure respiration, and there can be a host of other things you measure as well, but these are the general characteristics to identify sleep states. Okay, so we'll talk about sleep in the next few slides.